In an icebox, a proper icebox. Some lactogen infant formula. Delicious.
Does it have a year on it? The lactogen? Because that's bloody...
It's got a handle, for one thing. Surely it's got a use by.
Like 1940 or 1950 or something like that.
Somewhere. Oh, it's a tin, so used by is going to be hard to come by, but...
Don't worry. Don't worry, it's
You
old.
never know. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Looking at Mum on the front though, Mum's got to be... Oh, that's a early 60s.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like some of the things that they put in the houses. Oh, they...
It's not quite period, but it's definitely excellent.
Yeah. Alison just said they brought everything as is. I mean, look at all their cutlery and all their china and everything.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't you love to get antiques right through?
And yeah, exactly. And you know what? Someone actually probably made that tablecloth. It's probably made.
Like, yeah, a lace tablecloth.
Yeah.
It's not
Someone's
put together on some
machine. It's actually.
Someone's woven that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
You get a 99 lease on your grave. You do not. In South Australia, it's only a 25-year lease.
We've had to just renew Great Uncle.
Yeah. If your family doesn't do that, then, and you haven't paid up for longer than that, what they do is they take your headstone away, they dig out the grave, they put another body on top of you and they put his headstone there
Lovely.
instead. And your headstone gets sent off for road rubble. That's what it gets broken down to. All these headstones you see here came from, well, most of them, I'm going to talk about one that didn't, but most of these headstones here came from Tailem Cemetery. And you can see most, or a lot of them are 1800s, so you would have lost your history.
So this is colonial history in this
this
cemetery.
This is colonial history. You've got 1800s. and
Yeah,
so on.
exactly.
That's criminal that they would do that.
Yeah.
But Peter knew that they were going to do that, so he took a truck down because he needed headstones for the cemetery here. So he took a truck down and rescued most of these headstones. He nicknamed it the Travelling Cemetery because they've moved here. There is no bodies in them, by the way. And a man came here. He writes the Odyssey books every year, the South Australian Odyssey books, and he came here and said, have you got any news stories? He covered the cow poo house the year before. Now he wanted a new one. So Peter said, why don't you do something about the travelling headstones? He says, yeah, all right. And he went away to write his chapter on the book. 2 weeks later he came back and he says, I found something out about the travelling headstone. He said, in particular, as it's been lit up there.
That one right there?
Yeah, Samuel Sisson. No, next one across. Yay, there he is. 1868. All right. Samuel Sisson, he said, was very interesting. I now have the newspaper article, by the way. Samuel Sisson started off in Nairn. Now, in the newspaper article, what he did is he took a shotgun, he walked off into his paddock, put the shotgun into his mouth, got a fork stick and blew his own head off.
Oh, Jesus.
All right? And his wife and kids found him in the paddock in Nairn. The woman who bought that place several decades ago now, I guess, she had this funny grave in her paddock with a headstone, historic headstone. She didn't know anything about it. When she sold her land in Nairn for the developers, she knew it would get smashed up, she knew it would get wrecked. So she took it with her to Tasmania. That's where she moved to for protection. She came back here to WA. She brought the headstone with her to WA. She then moved to Murray Bridge. She brought the headstone to Murray Bridge. So it's been travelling around the country somewhat. Then she was dying, so she came to Peter and said, would you look after this headstone? Because she knew once she's dead, there's no more protecting it. So Peter said, yep, no, that's all right, we'll just put it in the cemetery here and add it. Now, it gets even stranger because when I first came to investigate here, I needed something to put up on the PFI webpage. So I thought, I know, I'll put up about the travelling headstone and Samuel Sisson. I had only had that story up. Now, after a week, I thought, I'll pull it down again because it's not really ghosty. A week or two later, I had an email from a Ron Sisson who had happened to have found it on my website.
Oh,
He's not
God.
into ghosts.
Yeah.
One of his friends had happened to run across my website with this headstone in it. They've been looking for it for decades.
Oh.
All right, the family haven't been able to find it. They have been searching for decades. They've been looking in all the cemeteries and through the cemetery records and not been able to find him. Because if you committed suicide in the 1800s,
You couldn't be in the
it was a
cemetery.
criminal.
Of
Well, A, it
course.
was an act against
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
You were not allowed to be put into sanctified ground, but it was also a criminal offence. We had lots of suicide attempts in the Adelaide jail. You were put in jail. It was seen as a crime. So he would be put out in the paddock. He's kind of making, I kind of get the feeling he's kind of making his way back there. He's gone from then to
Yeah, it's interesting,
Tasmania
isn't it?
to WA to Murray Bridge.
Yeah.
He's not really got that far to go now before
And
he
in
gets
his
back.
life, he would never have had the opportunity to travel like that.
No.
So.
We've got a standing joke at the moment because Anna has bought a property in Nan. She bought it a couple of years ago. And she's got an acre paddock at the back that hasn't been touched, and there's like a grave size indent in the paddock, like human size, like a grave sunk down. So my standing joke is one day we're going to go up there with shovels, the beer, the barbecue, and we're just going to dig that damn grave up. And wouldn't it be freaky, absolutely freaky, if that's where it belongs? The very first investigation, what we did is we were sitting on the wide pews on this side. We set up all the equipment there, so halfway down the church. We set up all the video cameras, we set up the EMF meters, we had voice recorders, and we were sitting in the church asking for something to happen. Now, we had been told originally that what they think is in the church is nada. All right, Peter believes it's his mother in here. Maybe because she would come and she'd play this organ every morning. So it was kind of where she came. So he believes it's his mother. Then we came in. So we were trying yet again to get a response from Nada in here. Nothing was happening. It was about an hour and a half we were in here, and we decided we needed a break. We had drinks out in the car, so we went out to sit in the car. And it was also cold, a bit like tonight, so a little bit colder. So we went to sit in the car to warm up, have a drink, and just get ready to come back in here. The car was just parked outside the church, so we had a full view of the church. We know there was nobody in here. There is that room, there's another door at the back. It was bolted from the inside. We know nobody could get in that way. While we were sitting out in the car, we started to see flashes of light on the side of the church. Now, we thought it was trucks at first, because as the trucks come down, you'll see the headlights broadcast and occasionally catch the side of the building here. After about a few minutes, we realised that it wasn't hitting the church from the outside, it seemed to be coming from the inside, coming out the windows. So we thought we'd better come back in and have a look. We came in here, there didn't seem to be much in here, didn't seem to have much happening. We sat here till 5 o'clock in the morning, and it still seemed to have apart from the other little lock, one little rack, which could be building movement. We didn't get a lot happening. So we still had all that audio to go through. So I went home, and the next day, or the next few days, started listening to the audio. Remember, we let the audio running in here while we were out in the car. So you're listening to hours and hours of noises you get on tapes, and then all of a sudden there's this bang like that. Now it's right next to the microphone. We know none of our equipment will fall over. Then you've got what sounds like National for the first time the other day. You've got, if I